All that placating, all of that virtue signaling that ESPN did when Rachel Nichols was talking about diversity hires, not realizing that in fact she was a diversity hire, ended up biting them back in their House of Mouse funded ass, because Maria Taylor, yep, she fucking out, and she's heading over to NBC. Why? Well, because you get woke, you go broke. I was trying to take a look at like what Maria Taylor is all about, because I didn't know, like the name didn't register with me. Up here in Canada, we don't have ESPN. We just have a whole bunch of hockey analysts who sometimes tertiarily talk about the Raptors if they're in the playoffs, and then remember that Toronto Blue Jays are still a thing if they're competitive towards the end of the year. Other than that, it's just wall-to-wall hockey coverage, and you never ever hear anything about what the goings-on in the entire greater sports world is. So when I tune into ESPN, I see a revolving door of faces. Nobody really grabs me. None of the sideline reporters at this point really do anything for me, because they're basically just microphone stands. They're like, okay, about this great victory that you just had, can you please tell me something about how you got here? Like, it's totally fucking worthless. Like, they don't do anything, okay? The people that they hire to do these sideline reporting gigs aren't hired because of their knowledge of a 3-4 defense or how to execute the pick and roll. What do they know? How to get on their knees and suck a mean dick. I mean, play volleyball at a very high level. That's what Maria Taylor's vocation. She appeared to be like a really fucking good collegiate athlete for the University of Georgia. Like, she ranks up there when it comes to women's volleyball. And yeah, no, she was very skilled at that. Why she got picked up by ESPN? Oh, I don't know why. Why do you think? Something just leaps off the page to me. It's because she got a journalism degree. Anyways, Maria Taylor and ESPN are divorcing. Oh, that sucks. And she is headed to ESPN and will cover the Olympics. Oh, good. Journalists will be there, but not fans in the stands. And oh, God, the Olympics are going to be an abortion. I loved the Summer Olympics. I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. It's the purest form of athletic endeavors. The highest performing athletes are out there doing just shit that is fundamental to every other sport, whether it be track, whether it be field, whether it be the expansion of team sports. It's all very interesting. It far eclipses Winter Olympics. I think Winter Olympics are an abomination, but that's neither here nor there. But it doesn't much matter to me, because I'm not ranked, like 9th in kills for the Georgia Bulldogs, or what do they call their female athletes? Got a couple of clever names that come to mind. Taylor, 34. She looks pretty good for 34. Leaves ESPN just weeks after a year-old private tape of leaked comments were reported by the New York Times, in which fellow NBA reporter / host / diversity hire Rachel Nichols alleged ESPN gave Taylor the finals hosting job to make up for what Nichols described as the network's crappy long-time record on diversity. I don't care about your definition of diversity, okay? I want athletes talking about sports who know the game, okay? Or people who are so fucking invested in the game that have an insight into it. Like, okay, I can talk your ear off about the late 90s, 2000s, early 2010s, NBA, NFL, MLB, and a fairly good amount of NHL. The rest of it, I can pretty much pick up. Oh, and the UFC. There was a stretch there where I was a huge devout fan, and if there's one thing that's kind of trying to bring me back, it's definitely the UFC right now, for very obvious reasons. We want those people talking to fellow athletes. Like, I don't care if she played women's basketball, which apparently she played a touch of, at a high level for a long time. People would want to hear her insight, rather. It's like when Candace Parker was filling in on the Inside the NBA roundtable. She broke down the game pretty good. Okay, would she be good hire up there? Yes. Would she be a diversity hire? No. Would anybody look at her funny because she's up there? A couple of people who just think that any time that you inject a woman or somebody of color is an SJW move. That's fucking stupid. She would deserve to be up there. She's one of the biggest names in professional female sports, which is, Matt Barnes level of notoriety. But no, you don't get the caliber of athlete like that. You get Maria Taylor, who's been running ESPN behind the scenes, just holding them hostage because okay, she's going to be hopping ship to NBC. But eventually, just like when Megyn Kelly left Fox News after being called out by Trump during the primaries for the presidential election in 2016. Nobody cared when she moved over to the bigger network, okay? She got put on the Today Show and eventually faded to obscurity, and now she's doing a podcast that got picked up by SiriusXM. And once again, if you want to go to a place of absolutely zero buzz, SiriusXM's the place for you. But that's what you got now. A whole bunch of nobodies holding these woke corporations who take their talking points from Twitter, running the entertainment industry. It's fucking dog shit. Let's finish this up, but keep that little plot point in mind for a minute. For NBC, Taylor is expected to be part of the forthcoming Olympic coverage that begins in earnest on Friday. Okay, maybe she'll do something good there, but it makes total sense if they're going to make the splash, NBC this is, to hire this person who has a raised profile off the back of, I don't know, just being a complete and total nudge behind the scenes. I'm just going to say that this one's going to come back and bite them in the ass. After the Post broke the news of ESPN and Taylor's failure to reach a new contract agreement, the network's chairman, Jimmy Pitaro, and Taylor released a joint statement. Why? Why? Oh, yeah, some of his previous statements. He's such a bitch, dude. There is no doubt we will miss Maria. Nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. Adding, while she chose to pursue a new opportunity, we are proud of the work we've done together. I'm sure you are. Could you name any of it? No? Okay. Taylor said she was so thankful to Jimmy and all of my great teammates. With NBC, Taylor could be waiting on deck circle to become a host of a Football Night in America. I'm sure she could definitely break down the Tampa 2 scheme or the nuances of the shotgun. That'll be fucking enlightening. I'll make sure to definitely not be tuning into that. When Mike Tirico moves to full-time Sunday Night Football play-by-play position in the fall of 2022. It is not fully set that Taylor will replace Tirico, but it seems as though it could be a potential fit. Why? Because she's black and a woman? And they want to have the first full-time broadcaster on a major news program. I think so. You can already see the headlines being written there, so that's why they're already putting that in there. Taylor could also have the role on Notre Dame football this season. Yeah, maybe, just to, get her familiarized with the sport instead of saying, hey, I wonder what they're doing with that oblong-shaped ball. Do you hit it with your hand towards the turf, or is that good or bad? But this is the caliber of entertainment we've all unfortunately come to expect, not really appreciate, because more people are tuning out now more than ever, and then they just keep replacing them with people who are just so horrifyingly average, okay? Like I said, I have nothing against Taylor. I've seen none of her work, but none of her credentials really lead me to believe that she is a leading face of an organization. Like something that's already on the decline. Like you've seen the numbers of these woke companies like NBA and the NFL and MLB to a certain extent. Their numbers just absolutely tumbling. And what's going to make people come back? The first black female to call Football Night in America? Huh? Okay. Something else that we talked about, what was that? Snow White, yeah, who's going to be played by a half Colombian, makes sense. Then Batgirl, okay? Because it just goes to show you that these corporations have no fucking idea what's going on. This is Warner Brothers, who, if you guys remember, you know what does everybody remember Warner Brothers for? Well, other than just recently putting out another shit Space Jam movie. They are one of the longest running movie houses out there. They hold the rights to a whole host of your favorite properties, and they were really setting themselves up for something incredibly great off the back of the Dark Knight trilogy. And then they gave the reins to Zack Snyder, and like an autistic child, he just drove it right off of a cliff. And it was captured in slow motion, so don't worry, it looked pretty and had an obligatory fucking spaz scene. 300's aged like absolute dirt, and the rest of his fucking catalog is not that impressive. But now, yeah, they're trying to right the ship by canceling his vision for the Justice League, but then at the same time doing another Aquaman film, and then kind of doing a soft reboot with the same people in the same universe, with the Flash movie that's coming out that definitely hasn't been in development hell for the past decade. And now they're trying to build up a different Batman universe because Ben Affleck was there and he did a job as being Batman, but now he's not going to be Batman because Batman's being played by the sparkly vampire from Twilight, Robert Pattinson. And now they're going to start expanding that Bat universe by including Batgirl, who last time that you've seen her on the screen, at least in a live action sense, was played by Alicia Silverstone. And as you can tell if you weren't doing a little bit of reading ahead, because I've just been vocalizing my sheer displeasure by this, yeah, it's just being race swapped again. And it's funny, right? Because this is another one of these characters that are traditionally redheads, and then getting swapped out for some racially ambiguous people. I'm not going to say full-on black this time, because there's another racially ambiguous girl who was cast to play Red Sonja, who, if you don't know, is a big old Viking broad in the same universe as Conan the Barbarian. And then they selected a 5'0" half black girl. It makes zero sense. And then Snow White, obviously. And then, because Disney can't stop shitting on their own legacy, they're doing a Little Mermaid reboot. Okay, they perfectly cast Ursula as being Melissa McCarthy, which is fucking hilarious. Not because I like her as an actress, just because they're being honest, at least in one casting choice. And then Ariel, who, if you remember, is a redhead, and is once again being portrayed and casted by somebody who is, yes, racially ambiguous. Now that's all Disney, okay? That's all that end of the pond, okay? Warner Brothers, yeah, they released the Snyder Cut. They're listening to the fans. They put out Mortal Kombat, which was total fucking garbage. I mean, it was a fun romp out there. They're just really stepping away from this woke shit. You dumb motherfuckers. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? That is controlled fucking opposition out there. You gotta see that shit for what it is. Oh, we're listening to the fans. We're not going to steer into the woke brigade. Yeah, sure. They're going to go ahead and do a couple of things over there. Remember all of the controversy that was going on with Mortal Kombat, right? Oh, we didn't want to cast Johnny Cage because we didn't need another white lead, but instead you had that absolute fucking plank of wood. Tony, I don't want to give any spoilers because, yeah, for an action film, it's fine, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I don't remember the name of the lead actor. I watched a review on it, and it was just an absolute fucking abomination. But it made sense why they didn't want to cast Johnny Cage, but that was the hubbub surrounding the movie at its release, and that's what they themselves, Warner Brothers, put out. And it was also like the first time that Asian people have ever been in movies, ever, totally, believe me. And then off the back of a success like In the Heights, that was that woke film that grossed like, it came out in theaters. It was one of the first ones that were out there, and it grossed something like $3,800 at the theaters. It was an absolute bomb. It was a woke atrocity. And off the back of that, we got a brand new Batgirl. Yeah. Leslie Grace, who, I don't know, just kind of looks like a botched AOC clone. Like, she's slightly more attractive. She's 26 years old. You probably should be at that age. Is just looking at her record, she hasn't done anything. And to call her a star off the back of that fucking disappointment just goes to show you that DC, Warner Brothers, they don't give a fuck. They're hopping on that same bandwagon that everybody else does, destroying the past, shitting on the canon of the character in order to appeal to the Twitter crowd. Let's see how it plays out. We already know how it's going to play out. Leslie Grace has been tapped to play Barbara Gordon. Yes, most people know that, Barbara Gordon's the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, who everybody now, at least in popular culture circles, associates Commissioner Gordon with Gary Oldman's representation in the Dark Knight trilogy. Oh, but don't worry, Commissioner Gordon has been race swapped out too, so he's going to be played by a black guy. So at least it's accurate for whatever stupid vision that they're trying to put forward here. Yeah, and this movie's going straight to HBO Max because nobody's going to care, and who gives a shit? News about the 26-year-old actress casting was first reported by Deadline, who earlier claimed several other performers had been eyed for the role. Yep, and here's the list, okay? In my opinion, like, that one right there, I don't know her name. Isabella Mercedes. Very attractive. Has the right facial composition to play Batgirl under the cowl. Like, that would have been fine. Okay, then you got your Leslie Grace there, who's been casted. Oh, and then you got like an actual redhead with the right facial makeup. And yeah, no, that totally makes sense to just pass her by because reasons, obviously. But yeah, the much-awaited superhero project. Wait, no, nobody's anticipating this. Zero people. Okay, the Batman is supposed to be out there. And that's another one that's been cast forever. And it's been filmed and keeps going back for reshoots, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on there. Apparently it's in the can and it's all ready to go. It's just going through post-production, but nobody really is looking forward to that, and even less so with this project. But anyways, and the project is currently set to make its debut on HBO Max streaming service in the near future. Sure, see early 2023 maybe. The media outlet also reported that the In the Heights actress, at least they didn't have the audacity to put star there. Stellar audition was a deciding factor behind her landing a role. Yes, she fit the right color on the swatch that they held up to her face. Let's be honest, is there any other cover that you can run at this point? That's all this shit is. Previously considered for the points were Zoe Deutsch, who was the redhead in the picture as well, Haley Lou Richardson, and Isabella Mercedes. I don't know who Haley Lou Richardson is, but the only thing I could find and taking a look at what she's done is, she's been nominated for a bunch of Latina or Latin Grammys or some shit like that. So yeah, again, another stellar casting decision. Neither Warner Brothers nor DC Film offered any comment about Grace's casting, but she broke the news on Twitter. And as you can see, that's the traditional and even the really shit new adaptation of Batgirl for the New 52 run for DC Comics. As you can see, very, very obviously black. And that's apparently a screenshot from that disaster in the Heights. I was going to say in the Hills. Nobody cares. Nobody watched it, and nobody's offended. And like you see, there's your casting announcement rather. I am beyond excited to embody Barbara Gordon, your Batgirl. Not my Batgirl. I don't care. I don't need a Batgirl. I'm not fucking 5 years old. I cannot believe she's 14 years old. That I'm writing right now, I guess. Thank you, DC, for welcoming me to the family. I'm ready to give it all I've got. Sure, okay. At least she seems in good spirits. I've taken a look at some of her social media history, at least what she's pointed out there, and she seems fine. Okay. She's not one of these activists first, actress second. She seems to have a decent head on her shoulders. I just think this is a terrible, terrible casting decision for very obvious reasons. Listen, Batgirl is who Batgirl is. Okay, this is the new run of DC Comics, okay? This is what apparently is out there on store shelves. That's what people associate it with. But just like Marvel, DC doesn't care about the comic buying audience. They haven't for a long time. They're all about appealing to the Twitter mob, okay? Both sides of it in this occasion, because they keep doing this over and over and over again. It elicits this response from the people who just want an accurate representation, who just want good stories. They don't care about representation. They don't want to see a superhero film where it's just sitting down at a table and discussing your problems. They want to see a stylized action flick, okay? That's what side gets triggered in this situation. And then you got to run through that exact same conversation over and over and over again that, no, I don't care that she's black. It's just a bad casting decision because that's not who the character is. If you want to go ahead and put out a black superhero, by all means, make your own fucking character. Just stop pilfering from the past. Stand on your own two legs. And then on the other side of the aisle, you have the much smaller group, which is apparently supposed to go watch this fucking disaster. The same people who don't read these fucking new issues of comics. Same people you've been writing for about a decade at this point. And comic sales are absolutely tumbling. Don't be fooled because, comic sales are through the roof at this point. You know what they're lumping in there? Young adult books, children's books. Oh yeah, and manga, which is outselling everything on the fucking planet at this point. You take all that shit out there, the top 25 charts, the sales charts out there. Yeah, all 25 are from Japan. It's all manga. Nobody cares about your current run of product, okay? That's why Black Widow, everybody was so excited to go out there and see a new film in the movie. Oh, it's going to be one of those blasty shoot 'em ups. Why is there so much talking? Why doesn't the story make any sense? This is a total fucking disaster. And then week 2, fucking plummets. Sucks to suck. Anyways, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.